Yo, what is up guys, Duke of DC here. Welcome to another video on this glorious, albeit a little bit gloomy Saturday morning. I am here at Coleman Power Sports, the Falls Church location. Of course, link in the description down below. My main man Bobby is hooking it up today with a couple of test rides, and that means I am hooking it up with a couple of videos. First of them being a 2018 Honda Goldwing Tour DCT. That's right, this is the dual clutch transmission automatic Honda. I'm very excited, but before we jump into that, real quick, I want to thank the sponsors of this video, Rollick Outdoors. You guys know that I've been working with Rollick Outdoors for the last couple of months now, and they are truly amazing. They continue to let me go out and pursue my passion of riding, reviewing motorcycles, basically all things bikes. They are connecting consumers like me with certified dealers like Coleman Power Sports to get the best pricing, the most transparent buying experience, the best offers, and really anything you could ask for when it comes to buying a motorcycle, recreational vehicle, side-by-side ATV. So if you'd like to check them out, hit the link in the top left corner, or of course the first link in the description down below. GoRollick.com. Woo! How do you get on this? Instead of doing a walk around here, I am going to just start riding it and then maybe put some B-roll in. This is an 842-pound bike, so you will have to forgive me if I'm the slightest bit nervous. Keep my feet very close to the ground here. Oh, how amazing is this? Alright, so like I said guys, this is a 2018 Honda Goldwing Tour DCT. Now there are 5 Honda Goldwing models that are being sold in the year of 2018. There's the base 6MT, so you can still buy this bike in a 6-speed manual transmission only. There is the Honda DCT, just Goldwing normal. Then there's the touring options. There are 3 options for touring. There's the 6MT, the DCT, and then the DCT with airbag. All of which going from a base price of about $24,000 all the way up to an MSRP of about $30,000+ for the DCT airbag. So these are in no way, shape, or form inexpensive motorcycles. These are some pricey beasts. But let's be honest here, Honda, and especially the Goldwing, which has been around since 1975 and has over 650,000 units sold. How ridiculous of a number is that? But Honda with their Goldwing has always, and probably will forever, push the pace when it comes to technology and just like what you can expect on a motorcycle. I don't know if you just heard me say that they have a DCT airbag model. So not only is it dual clutch transmission automatic, or you know, I could shift this into manual, and then there's paddle shifters on the front here that would allow me to go up, down whenever I wanted to. But if this were the model, it is not. There would be an airbag feature, and maybe I can find a Goldwing clip or something from Honda and put that in on how the airbag would actually work, because it's just such a fascinating thing to have on a motorcycle and something that you would never really think about. I'm very, very excited for today's ride. I have a beautiful 40-mile loop picked out that's going to let me go on a little bit of highway, a little bit of proper twisty roads, and then back in through a little bit of city stuff to come back to the Falls Church location of Coleman Power Sports. Again, thank you guys so much. There are about 4 billion different buttons sitting in front of me, and I'm not gonna lie, even though I've done quite a lot of research, it's still really, really overwhelming to look at everything. On this model, since it is the touring DCT, I do have a rear seat with a 50-liter rear storage compartment. I guess that's combined 50 liters for the 3. There's a top box and 2 side boxes. I have a beautiful plush lazy boy-esque rear passenger pillion seat back there, which is really cool. It's heated, of course. My seat is heated, my handlebars are heated, which on this 70-degree day might not be the worst thing at the highway, you know, if you're traveling in the mountains where it gets a little bit cooler. I have cruise control, of course. Again, everything on this is like a, of course you have that. You know, if this is a feature that belongs on high-end motorcycles, then yeah, of course it's going to be on the Honda Goldwing. And I cannot express to you how ridiculous the DCT is. I haven't shifted, there's no clutch. What? No clutch. So you got a plus button right here, you got a minus button right there. I believe it holds the bike, so it probably has like a rear brake hold. considering it's a bit heavy, and if you were on a steep hill, you would need about a split second to actually get the bike going, and you wouldn't want to roll back. So it may have that feature, which is a very common feature in cars. And a beautiful 1833cc horizontally opposed 6-cylinder engine that hauls complete booty. Now, I've been given the rundown from Coleman that these are incredibly new bikes. They're still in their break-in period, so I do have to go gentle on them. I know that you guys generally don't like that, but I like to maintain my relationships with dealerships, and I like to make sure that the next person that buys this bike is buying something that has been properly maintained. So there's your public service announcement for the day. This has got to be the most comfortable motorcycle I think I've ever ridden. And that's saying something, because I've been on the BMW, what is it, the K1600 GTL, one of their like highest lined, gorgeous touring motorcycles, which, you know, albeit was a long time ago, so it's something that I've long since forgotten what it felt like. But this is the creme de la creme, the pièce de résistance of touring bikes. I could ride this thing for 6 days, 7 nights straight. I would have a little bedpan for the bathroom situation. Just drink Soylent. If you don't get that reference, then you're probably too young to hang out with me. Alright, so cruise control is boom, boom. And we're on cruise control. Things are very easy and intuitive. Like I said, this is my first time on the bike. This is my first time actually using the buttons, regardless of how much research you do. It's different when you're physically on something. You hit the little cruise control button here, then you hit down to set it, up to go up, you know, mileage, down to go down mileage. Of course, hitting the brake or really doing much of anything takes the cruise control away, which is a safety feature, which is fantastic. If you're looking here, this is probably a good time to talk about this. You can see I've got speakers here. I have a Bluetooth sound system, and yes, I was not lying. This car, as I call it, a car. This motorcycle has Apple Bike Play. That's what I'm going to call it, because I don't know. Is it CarPlay or is it Bike Play when it's on a motorcycle? But it has the Apple connection thing, so that I can go down and have my navigation streamed from my phone to this glorious bike. Which, by the way, the 842 pounds does not feel like 842 pounds. It is so incredibly balanced. The suspension, too, is just sublime. And what an interesting suspension system it is, because we've got a wishbone suspension in the front here, which, if I can show you guys a picture, I mean, you can see it actuating in the front there, right? You see that? It's going off this, you know, lever system. It's incredible, incredible. You know, you want to say like, oh, the bike has Öhlins, it's got Brembos, stuff like that, right? But the Honda Goldwing has a lot of one-off internal Honda R&D components because of what kind of a motorcycle it is and what it requires. Ooh, yep, there's the weight. When you come to a stop, you do need to mind yourself, although this does have a very low 29-inch seat height, which is fantastic, so it'll let a lot of riders like myself, who have maybe a shorter inseam, 30 inches in my case, get their feet down really firmly. As you can see, I can flat-foot it just fine, although, you know, if I'm sitting kind of up in the ready position, I am on the balls of my feet just a skosh. What other little tidbits and stats do you guys want to hear? I think everybody likes it when I talk about MPG, so I went on Fuely before I came on this ride, and this motorcycle is getting about 45 miles per gallon average from the person who was posting on there. So take that information with a grain of salt. It's a 5.5 gallon fuel tank, which I actually find very interesting, because you would think a bike this big would have the capability of having a much larger tank. But at 45 miles per gallon, you know, 5.5 gallon tank will take you well over 200 miles, which is pretty much where you want to be on a motorcycle before you kind of stretch your legs. Or at least it was, until I rode this. And now I think that the Iron Butt Challenge is really just a normal Saturday ride for anyone that owns a Goldwing. So interestingly, you got 7 gears here. You could have seen right there I was in 7th, which is the overdrive gear for the highway. When you're in automatic mode, obviously it's doing the best in touring to keep me at a relatively economical, albeit, you know, the power is very much there. 6th gear still has plenty of torque, although when I did kind of goose it right there, it didn't drop gears like I thought it would, and that's probably because I'm in touring mode. I bet if you were in a sport mode, which we'll try and change over once I stop this beast of a machine, then it would give you a little bit more access to that quick downshifts, and then really getting after it. Okay, so we have a second here. Heated grips, heated seat. Here's the audio info. I can hit that. Doesn't do anything because I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, it's the enter button here. So go down to phone pairing if I wanted to. I don't want to do that though. Go to navigation, which is going to be very insane. This has its own built-in navigation system. It can see that I'm on Braddock Road right now. Vehicle settings, canceling auto turn signals. Here's the suspension preload, so you can change it from here, so it's obviously electronically adaptable. I can have the one person with luggage, two people with luggage. You can change your units, you know, from miles per hour to kph, or at least what's going to be displayed on the actual 7-inch TFT full color display. Auto dimmer, day, night. Then here's some of the interesting stuff that comes along with having a sound system, which is really cool. Audio settings, sound settings, bass, treble, boost. Like, how flippin' cool is that? Oh, and of course, here's my... Look at that. Something else I was genuinely concerned about was the weight at 842 pounds, and that is the ready-to-ride weight. All fluids, full tank of gas. This is one of the heaviest motorcycles I have ever ridden, the others being really heavy Road King Harley Davidsons or Road Glides. So, you know, I was concerned because on those bikes, I definitely felt the weight. Now, of course, once you get moving, everything's balanced, right? It's a gyroscope, essentially, so that's what it's supposed to be. This being one of the most balanced bikes I've ever ridden, regardless of its weight or its genre, right? The fact that it's a big touring motorcycle just doesn't plain matter. It is, without question, an incredibly balanced bike. Oh my god, oh my god. The 6-cylinder sounds really good, like incredibly beefy. Alright, so now we're in sport mode. I can already tell the bike has just changed characteristics. We are now in manual, so you'll see when you hit this A/M button, the D will go away, D being like full automatic drive, and then when it goes away, you're in a manual. So again, here's the negative, which is downshifting, and then on this side, a little positive, so it's very easy to reach. Your hands kind of go like that. I do see the turn signal being a little bit in the way because it kind of protrudes out, and then you've got under it the downshift, but c'est la vie. What can you do? Oh my god, it's so smooth. That's a joke and a half. That's how smooth it is. Like, that was 3rd to 4th gear. Oh my god. And it shifts down just as smoothly. Now I understand everyone's interest in this bike. Okay, so that was an instance where I went to downshift and I hit the cancel turn signal button. So that's just something you'd have to get used to a bit. Otherwise, amazing, fantastic, really. Seriously, I mean, what? Let's go visor open for a little bit with the windscreen all the way up. Now, if this tag is bothering you on the windscreen, I do apologize. I probably should have taken it off beforehand. And I'm gonna put it in my cubby. I love cubbies. Hello, horses. I'm just on a beautiful Goldwing on a glorious Saturday, living my dream life. Genuinely, I just want to thank you guys real quick, subscribers, all of you, because you're the reason why this is possible. You're the reason why Rollick Outdoors has seen something in me to work with me. You're the reason why Coleman Powersports has trusted me with their motorcycles, and really, all I can say is thank you so much. As I gingerly swing this 850-pound bike left to right, amazing. Yeah, no big deal. They're just staring at me on my Goldwing. Cancel my turn signal for me. Do it. It did it. Oh, ah. It's so cool. It's so cool. This bike is so cool. I'm 12 years old when I ride a motorcycle that I love, in that I am lacking many things to say that are eloquent or even remotely intelligent, but this is just such a bike. Honda has always pushed the pace on the Goldwing, specifically on the Goldwing, when it comes to technology. I mean, like I said, I'm riding a bike that has a DCT. That's very far and few between, and many of the motorcycles that are offering that are Hondas. I mean, the Honda Africa Twin famously has the DCT, which now I think would be an amazing thing to have if you were off-roading and had one less thing to worry about. Now, there are purists out there that will say if you're not shifting, if you don't have a clutch, you're not really on a motorcycle. And that's your opinion, and it really just is your opinion. That's something that I don't necessarily agree with. I certainly see the benefit of having a clutch and riding a full manual motorcycle. I mean, that's what I've done my entire career as a motorcycle rider, but I also can see the benefits of riding something like this. If you love the feeling of, this is a motorcycle, there's no arguments about that. It's got two wheels, I control it like this, and the wind is in my hair, so to speak, you know? It's a motorcycle. The fact that I don't necessarily have to use a clutch to shift, even though I can manually shift it, is just a point that people will have to kind of grow to love or continue to not support. Innovation takes guts, and sometimes it takes failure. So the last couple videos, I've ranked the motorcycles on a scale of 1 to 10, and you know, not the most comprehensive thing to do, especially only having been on it for a test ride, but at least it keeps things consistent. So I'm going to continue to do that, and if I had to rank this bike, it would be a 9.2 out of 10. Why a 9.2, Duke? Well, let's talk about everything. Features, that's a 10. Comfort, that's a 10. Power, that's a 9, because it's genuinely hauling. Looks, that's an 8. That's where things come down a little bit. You know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a huge bike, and it's got a big butt. And as much as, you know, I love what everything does, like every bit of this motorcycle has a purpose. You can obviously get it smaller if you just want the standard Honda, but, you know, there's no fun in that. And, you know, I will say that the practicality of this bike is a little bit low. It's probably like a 7.5 or an 8. And that's because the size, it's just very large. I would not be able to fit this where I fit my S1000R right now. And if you're young and you're living somewhere like an apartment or some sort of a shared space with roommates and you don't necessarily have your own garage, that's probably going to be the case for you unless you have a parking spot that's fully devoted to this bike, which is what would be necessary. Although I will give it a very high 9 on maintenance. This is a shaft-driven bike, and it's a Honda, so it's going to come out a little bit more reliable than something like a BMW K1600. And because it's shaft-driven, which many large touring bikes from all various brands are, you're going to just have less maintenance to do over time. Now, the weight is probably going to eat through tires a little bit more, so that's not the greatest thing. But again, what can you do? I'll also give it, as part of the maintenance, I'll incorporate this, is the warranty. This comes with a 3-year warranty from Honda with the ability to extend to an 8-year warranty with their protection plan, which I think is really good value for money. I mean, 3-year warranties, that's what BMW offers. I would say this is competing pretty directly with something like a K1600. And so the fact that Honda has stepped up and provided such an extensive long-term warranty really shows that they care about the consumer and they care about, you know, the person's experience on this bike. They don't want someone to buy it and then a year from now maybe something goes wrong and they have to pay XYZ money to get it fixed. No, they want to cover those costs, which is a real professional move. As my luck would have it, my battery ran out on my GoPro as I was doing my outro, so I'm not sure if you guys captured it, but what better place to do an outro than back at Coleman Power Sports. And really just final thoughts, I absolutely love this bike. As you can see, walking around real quick, the styling, beautiful. So 2018 Honda Goldwing Touring. The Touring is this back pillion seat, the side panniers, and the top box. DCT being the dual clutch transmission automatic transmission that has the paddle shifters here, but also can be set in auto mode. Really one of the most special motorcycles I've ever ridden. Definitely punches below and above its weight, and I don't know how it does that. So please go to Coleman Power Sports if you are looking to buy one of these. Hit up GoRollick.com for the best offers and the most transparent buying experience, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!